right into a functional fitness Friday and some guided breathing at the end. So today we're going to do 3 rounds of our circuit. We're going to do 50 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest / transition time. That way we can move nice and slow and work on our mind to muscle connection. We're going to do a mix of upper and lower body and ending with some core. So real quick with our demos, we don't need any equipment today, but as always, if you'd like to use something, feel free. But we're going to start off with some reverse lunge with rotation. So we're going to be at the top of our space here. We're going to step back into our reverse lunge. After we step back, we're going to rotate towards our front leg and step back up. So we're going to do all on one leg and all on the other leg. So stepping back, rotate, and up. So once we finish that side, we'll go to the other side. Again, stepping back and then rotating towards the other leg. It's 2 separate movements. We don't want to rotate as we step back or stand back up. We want to step, rotate, and back. After that, we're going to do some plank arm raises. So we're going to be on the ground, either hands and knees or hands and toes. And we're going to exhale, bringing one arm over our head at a time, using our core. If we're rocking too much side to side, go ahead, drop to your knees and do the same thing. So that's going to be our third movement. Then we're going to go ahead and get on the ground. We're going to do some alternating single leg glute bridges here. So we're going to have one foot on the ground. We can either have the other foot straight out or a slight bend, or you can cross it over the other leg. Exhaling, coming up, and then the other foot. So we're going one foot at a time. And then after that, we're going to do some glute bridge marches. So we're going to keep our hips up, marching one knee up at a time, working on our glutes and our core. So that is going to be our whole circuit for today. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for our workout with our warm-up. So let's go ahead. We're going to be on our hands and our knees today to start. And to open up our hips here, we're going to have our knees a little bit wider than hip width, toes directly behind our knees. We're going to inhale, rock back. We're going to do a few quadruped rocks here. Then we're going to go ahead, exhale, coming back forward. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. We're going to go ahead and do 2 more, coming back. And forward. And last one, coming back. And forward. And once we finish that one, we're going to go ahead and do some rotation reach throughs here. So we're going to take one hand, we're going to inhale, we're going to reach through in between our opposite arm, opposite leg. And then exhaling, opening up. We're going to inhale, reach through. And exhale, opening up. And then last one, reaching through. And opening up. We can go ahead and bring our hand back up underneath our shoulder. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take our opposite hand. We're going to inhale, reach through. And exhale, opening up. Inhaling, reaching through. And exhaling, opening up. And we're going to do one more, reaching through. And opening up. Then we're going to go ahead and bring our hand back up underneath our shoulder. And we are ready to rock and roll. So starting off at the top, we're going to do our reverse lunge with rotation. We're doing 50 seconds of work, 10 seconds of transition time here. We're going to get the timer started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So in the top of our space, we're stepping back into our reverse lunge. So knees over our second toe, chest is over the arch of our front foot. We're rotating towards our front leg. We want to try and get our shoulder. So this shoulder, we want to get as parallel with our leg as we can in the front. Let me angle it this way a little bit. So we want to be as far here as we can. So right now my logo is fully facing the camera. Rotate back, stepping on up. So it's going to work on our core strength, our rotation abilities here. as well as our leg strength. So if we inhale as we turn, 3, 2, 1. I wanted to have longer time here so we could really focus on bringing our core back, or sorry, bringing our shoulders back with our core. 3, 2, 1. So we're stepping back. Again, same thing, onto the other side. So if we really exhale as actually, so we're to inhale, rotate, exhale as we go back. As we exhale and pull our core back, we should feel our core working. So that's where we exhale through our straw, bring everything together as we rotate. So it's going to help us strengthen our core. That's why we want it to also be 2 separate movements. That way we still work on our leg strength here as well as our core strength. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have plank arm raises. Getting ready on the ground. 3, 2, 1. So I'm definitely going to do this one on my knees. But we want to make sure that we, no matter what, we exhale, keeping our core engaged. We don't have to do this really fast. We really want to do it with our proper muscle engagement here. Great job. We're really planting our hand outside, or sorry, right underneath our shoulders. It's really easy when we're doing this to kind of plant it in the middle to give us more stability. But just like with group bridge marches, want to work on our anti-rotation. 3, 2, 1. All right. On to the ground. We have single leg glute bridges here. 3, 2, 1. I feel like this week has been the week of unilateral movement. Really important to work on each side separately. We also want to make sure that in our glute bridges, our feet are in our Goldilocks position. So if they're too close, we're going to feel it in our quads. If they're too far, we're going to feel it in our hamstrings. Sorry. We also want to make sure that we are keeping our feet hip width apart. That's why I do personally prefer to lift with my foot not straight in the air. So that way it's kind of like in the 3, 2, 1. So that way our feet stay where they're supposed to be. We have glute bridge marches next. 3, 2, 1. So hips are up. Breathing through our straw. And making sure we're driving through the opposite heel. We want to feel this in our glutes, in our core. We're starting to feel it in our low back. Really tuck your pelvis. Drive through your heel to activate our glutes, but also engage our core. Great job. Keep pushing here. 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome job. 1 down, 2 to go. We're standing on up. Reverse lunge with rotation. 3, 2, 1. So we're stepping back, rotate, and pushing back up. So really making sure that we are making it 2 different movements. You can really do whatever you like with your arms. You can keep them at your hips here. You can hold them up under your chin, really rotate. You can also, if you really want an arm workout, if you have room, you can always have your arms out rotate. You're gonna get a little bit of an isometric workout on your shoulders. So whatever feels good, whatever you have room for. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side here. 3, 2, 1. So whatever you did with your hands for the last one, let's go ahead, keep that up here. Really using our core. This is also where you might notice maybe one side, the rotation doesn't feel, not necessarily doesn't feel, but like I know on this side, my rotation's a little bit better than this side. So if you feel a little bit stuck, really go nice and slow through that side. It's really good to know this. Make mental notes. I know my muscles on this side don't let me rotate as much because they are tighter. So I like to focus on that side when I'm doing my trigger point release and stretching and all that. Good. Recovery. 3, 2, 1. All right. On to our plank arm raises. 3, 2, 1. So either hands and knees or hands and toes. If we're really starting to move back and forth, we really want all of it to be in our core and in our arms. It also helps, I know even sometimes I tend to move my hips even if I'm on my knees. If you really focus on putting all of your weight in the opposite foot or knee as the opposite hand, so whenever it's my left hand, putting the pressure down here, that helps with the anti-rotation as well. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Glute bridge, single leg glute bridge is next. Almost said glute bridge marches. Not yet. 3, 2, 1. So really exhale, driving through your heel. You can always kind of place your hands here under your glutes to make sure that they're firing when you drive your foot. I also like to focus on driving your foot versus squeezing your glute, because automatically driving your foot into the ground should activate your glutes here. Great job. Really driving up. This is also where we might notice that maybe one side is not as active as the other side. 3, 2, 1. All right. That's also where you might notice that maybe one foot needs a slight different foot placement. All right, marches here. 3, 2, 1. My favorite workout for low back strength, for our core strength, glute strength, for all of it really. Again, keeping our feet hip width apart. So as I drive my right heel into the ground, I have to use my core to make sure that we're not dipping like we would, mainly going from our toes to our knees on our arm raises. Same thing. So we're doing a lot of rotary work, but a lot of anti-rotation work as well today. We do need both of them for all movement. And as you all know, my goal is to make sure that things are easier outside of our sessions here. 3, 2, 1. All right. 2 down, 1 to go, and then we're going to do some breath hold, and then we're going to cool down. 3, 2, 1. I'm on this one. I know I always say at some point we can grab some weight to make these ones a little bit more challenging. For the rotation, adding a weight sometimes doesn't always make it more challenging, but what you could do is hold like water bottle. You can hold it under your chin, something like this, to give it some more weight, or a dumbbell or anything like that. You just hold it right underneath your chin as you step back and rotate. I find that sometimes we really need to master the rotation and pulling back with our core before we start to add weight in, because otherwise we're just moving back and forth. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with that leg. We're gonna do the other leg here. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're stepping back. Rotate, exhale, back up. So we're coming back. On this one too, as we get better, we do really want to try not let our back foot or back knee touch the ground. I know sometimes it inevitably is a little bit closer to the ground. We also want to make sure that we're, like most lunges, we're not pushing off of our back foot and that we're pushing off the front. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have plank arm raises. And then we're going to be on the ground on our backs for the rest of the workout. 3, 2, 1. So either hands and knees or hands and toes. Really driving through our hand. Exhaling, coming up. Using our core. Again, balancing our opposite knee or foot. Really driving it into the ground. Trying to keep our headlights on our hips, blinding the ground the whole time. 3, 2, 1. All right. Going around, flipping over on our backs to single leg glute bridges. 3, 2, 1. So, sailing, driving up. Great job. Really working on our single leg strength. This will also help, again, build up our glute strength. You can also make it more challenging this round by lowering yourself nice and slow back to the ground. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right, last movement. And then we're going to do some pretzel and then we're going to breathe. 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? Breathe through the straw. Exhaling, driving each knee. Great job. Using our core, using our glute strength. Keep pushing. Oh my hips are feeling a little tired today, but we got this. 3, 2, 1. And that is going to be it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. And then, like I said, we're going to do some pretzel to cool down. And then we are going to breathe. So making our way onto our sides. And we're going to do our checklist here. So our top leg is going to come up, over, across our body. Knee and ankle stay on the ground. Bottom hand goes on top of our knee. Top hand grabs onto our bottom foot or ankle. We're going to inhale to prepare. And exhale, bring our top shoulder towards the ground. And do a few deep breaths here through our nose into our bellies. And exhaling, sighing away our tension, relaxing all the muscles in our bodies. And one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently release our bottom leg and we can go ahead and flip on over to the other side. And we have our same checklist here. So our top leg comes up over across our body. Knee and ankle stay on the ground. Bottom hand on top of our knee. Top hand grabs onto our bottom foot or ankle. We're going to inhale to prepare. And exhaling, we're bringing our top shoulder towards the ground. So again, a nice, huge, big, deep breath here in through our nose, into our bellies. And then exhaling, sighing away our tension. We're going to go ahead and do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently release out of that. And you have the choice today. You can either be on your back for our breathing with your hand over your chest and your left hand over your chest, your right hand over your stomach, and breathing in, making sure our right hand is rising more or before our left hand, making sure we're breathing into our bellies. Or we can do some child's pose. So I know personally my hips and my back are a little tight today, so I'm gonna like to do some child's pose so I can breathe into those tight areas. But today we're gonna do some box breathing here. So for this one, we're gonna inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold for 4 seconds. So I'm gonna count us out for 1 or 2 rounds here. So we're gonna inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. So go ahead, keep up that pace. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make this next round our last one. And when we finish our last rotation of our box breathing. If we're on our backs, we can take a few seconds, wiggle our fingers and toes if we need to. Start to wake your body up. And if you're in child's pose, you can gently return back to your hands and your knees. And then roll over, returning to a seated, kneeling, or standing position. But that is going to be all the time I have for today. So thank y'all for joining me. I hope you feel like you really worked on your single leg strength, a little bit of rotation there. So great job. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.